Hello, my name is Robert Moyer, and I am the director of the McEachern High School Winter Guards. The title of the show was Justice for All. The show means a lot to me because it's my life that I'm living. It's the students' lives. It's really cool because the McEachern Guard is built up of all African American students, and I chose to do this show because I knew that this was their story and they deserve to have their story being told.
When Mr. Moyer first announced what the show was, I was very excited. From the way he described it, I knew it was gonna make people think and listen very closely. Even from our tart to our silks to our uniforms, the concept was very simple, but the message was very loud. And people avoid having conversations about racial injustice in America and inequality. So for us to do a show about inequality, I thought that it was very much needed and we were definitely going to get people's attention.
The inspiration of the music was given to me by my friend Michael James. He helped me design the show and come up with the ideas of where we're going. Even when it came down to the uniforms were, I just went very simplistic with it. Gray hoodies, denim jeans, just to kind of represent that Trayvon Martin kind of feel, just kind of street clothing you could see, kids wearing every single day. That look that, people think is dangerous, but it's not dangerous at all. Well, there's a lot of correlations to the show because there are parts of the show where I asked the kids to do certain gestures. We did the fist a lot. There were parts of the show where the kids were kind of like around the parameters of the floor, and I gave every kid a certain pose to hit. Like, I had a student doing the Colin Kaepernick. I had a kid doing hands behind the head, like they're getting arrested, or hands up, don't shoot. There was a kid that was like kind of praying, like, just a lot of nuances that were put into the show that correlate to today's society that we're going through now. My favorite part of the show was, I call it the running fives. There was a part of the show where there was a young lady, she was doing a TED talk, and she was very emotional, and she was just naming off all the individuals who have been hurt or killed due to injustices in our community. And every name that was called, there was a toss that went up and it was caught, and it was really cool because our drill designer Chester Phillips, he staged it to where it almost looked like there were just tosses happening every single count, and it was like this like tornado effect, and it was the biggest crowd response that we got, not only because of like the tossing happening, but it's just an emotional part of the show, and people would come up to me all the time just like almost in tears saying, wow, that was really special, and it like touched a lot of people.
This show meant a lot to me because, for one, we were an all-black guard, and we know what it feels like to be black in America, on top of being able to express our anger and our sadness through this show. And we got people to listen and try to understand our pain. And I think that was probably the biggest statement that we could have made.
I learned a lot about myself doing the show. I learned just how much I love my students. I learned how much I love my culture. I learned how much that we as Black people are still not treated the way we need to be treated. And I think that this needed to be said. There have been some shows like that before, but I think this was a little special to me. And just watching the audience eyes just light up and hearts just so full, it was really rewarding to me. And it was a great experience. And if I could go back and do it again, I would go back and do it over and over and over again. This was a very, very fun production.